Again, same like yesterday. I'm going to do the news of the day early. I will do the preview after this. Promise it's coming. And then from there, we'll proceed through the day. And if I need to do another news of the day, trade reports, and that kind of thing in between now and when the games start, that'll get done then. So, unconditional waivers for Zach Bogosian. There were no takers on Bogosian. Apparently, Buffalo is willing to keep half of his cap hit. Still no takers. So now he's on unconditional waivers for a buyout. They're just taking his contract right off the books, and we'll see if anything happens with him from here. It's surprising it's come to this, but he refused to report to Rochester, and they went, all right. So there you go. And when he refused to report to Rochester, I didn't put it into news of the day because there wasn't anything to report. I'm like, all right, we'll wait until something else happens. Now something else has happened. Matt Niskanen was fined $5,000 for a slash that he broke his stick on the wrist of Gustav Nyquist. There's a referee right there. See, and people are like, oh, well, Shannon doesn't talk about this stuff in his reviews. You must not have watched. I did, and I thought it was baffling at the time. I thought, you can see the skate blade on the ice. It came from Niskanen. And you can see Nyquist grabbing his wrist and quite obviously in some discomfort over what just happened. You can ascertain what happened there, Mr. Referee. Nope. Even goes over to check on him. And I thought, wait, you saw it. So, yeah, he $5,000 fine for Niskanen. That is the maximum. They can't fine more than that. And then they fined Sabrin for spraying water at Scheifele. So, it's a weird league. Now, for people wondering about Puljujarvi, Ken Holland has come out and said nobody's really asking about him. So, trade deadline, nobody's asking. And they're not asking because even if they could get him and sign him, he can't play this year. The deadline for an RFA to sign is passed. So, there's really not going to be any interest until after the season's over. So, don't look for his rights to get moved at the deadline. Interesting news with Ottawa. They've called up Josh Norris. So Josh Norris may very well make his debut. And of course, Nemesnikov was held out of the lineup because they anticipate being able to trade him. And there are many teams being linked to him right now. I'm not getting into it. I don't do the trade to speculation stuff. It just looks silly after. So we'll see what ends up happening with Nemesnikov. I think Nemesnikov can be useful in bottom six role. As long as you're not counting on him for too much, I think he can be all right. And apparently Jean-Gabriel Pageau and the Sens are talking, and they've exchanged numbers. And so we'll see what happens between now and Monday. If that contract works, the Senators extend him. If it doesn't, and they trade him. And I would think with the values we're seeing for players right now, it has to be tempting to trade him. For the Senators, it has to be. Dominic Cahoon, bad luck Cahoon right now. He returns to the lineup last night and he gets injured. Third period against Toronto. So it looks like it's a leg injury. And yeah, so Cahoon, hopefully it's not too bad. They haven't released yet how long he's going to be out. That'll probably come out later. And so hopefully it's not too bad. Because Pittsburgh could use his services in the lineup. And they could also use no more injuries to their players. It hasn't been as bad lately as it was, but it does still feel like I'm regularly looking at guys in Pittsburgh getting hurt. Now, Montreal fans, you got to be a little bit nervous about these numbers from Darren Dreger. Apparently, Ilya Kovalchuk is having negotiations with Montreal about staying for next year. So if they're going to keep him, they want him extended. And it could be $3.5 million base salary. And with bonuses, he could make $5 million next year. He's not going to live up to that contract. And I'm seeing Montreal fans talking about Julian and where Julian's deploying him and how Julian's terrible with his deployment of Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk has not been the same, though. And I've watched him in particular a lot since going to Montreal. And it's what's going on with him in Montreal is exactly the same as what happened with him in LA. Strong start, and then he fades. And we can point our fingers at the coach. Certainly that was said about him when he went to Montreal. When he had that really strong start, it was, well, LA didn't know how to use him. Montreal does. Montreal's a better team. And now that he's started to struggle with his scoring, Last night he had a couple of good opportunities, just didn't go in for him. And this is how he is now. And he's going to be a year older in a league that keeps getting younger. $3.5 million. If he signs for that, there's no way he lives up to that contract next year. No chance. He's at most a 40-point guy in a season, and as long as you know that, as long as you pay him like he's going to get you 40 points, and he's not a $3.5 million player, then that's fine. But if they're expecting Kovalchuk to keep producing like he did when he first got there, that's going to be problematic. And this rumor that's out there, that it's a rumor that's out there enough that I've got a notification from The Athletic this morning on it, so I might as well talk about it, that I think's crazy, is Troy Stecher being traded for Tyson Barrie. Now, I think this is crazy because while I like Stecher, I also know that he's RFA this summer, and the amount of money to qualify him is high enough that if Vancouver holds on to Stecher, I think they'll just let him go. The same as Ben Hutton. I think he'll get the Ben Hutton treatment. And for Barrie, I don't know that I like that from the Toronto perspective, because I don't know that Stecher improves their blue line. Toronto's looking to improve their blue line, and I don't know that Stecher would necessarily be an improvement. I like Troy Stecher. I do. I also think that if the Canucks are going to move him, because they know they're not going to be able to sign him, and again, it's because the amount of money to qualify him as an RFA is high. So he makes $2.325 million. That expires in June, and he's got rights to arbitration as well. So if he went to arbitration, and you've got to qualify him, and he's got over a $2 million price tag at minimum, and it could be higher than that. And there's no way the Canucks could re-sign Barrie. So if they picked up Tyson Barrie after picking up Toffoli, you've got to think they would have to add a sweetener for Stecher. So adding another draft pick. So basically Benning going, I like to have June off. Can I just not go to the draft? And Aquilini goes, yeah, that's fine. Just you crazy guy, Jim. Just go out. I can get some guys out of NCAA or sign some overagers out of the CHL. It'll be just the same. You got it, Jim. You go right on ahead. Trade everything. I like mostly what the Canucks have done this year. I think it's great. But if this were a deal that comes through, I would be very nervous. Because all of a sudden then it's not just the Canucks taking a risk on Toffoli, but then they're kind of all in at that stage because they can't keep Barrie. They'd be sacrificing Stecher for him. If they were going to move Stecher, I would rather see him moved for a younger player. And I'd rather see some kind of a futures package back for him. Stetcher's a good defenseman. He's not irreplaceable. And again, at the cap hit he's at and the fact he's RFA this summer, I don't know. I could understand the Canucks moving him, but I'm kind of nervous about what they get back. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below regarding this and any other rumors that are out there. And we'll see who gets moved today. Yesterday was a very quiet day trade-wise. There were deals made, but nothing major. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and for watching these videos every day. I will talk to you guys very soon.